You don't need your entire tool bag with you when you go out on site to do test and inspect. So don't go anywhere, because I'm going to show you my essential tools that I take out with me. Obviously, you're going to need a tester. Now this is just my Kewtech. It's several years old now, but it does the job. It's regularly calibrated, so I know it's all fine and in perfect working order. And this one will do everything from continuity, like every single tester out there, but it's a bit of a higher model, so it's also got phase rotation, which is great for industrial and commercial applications, and it's also got the earth electrode test on there. On top of that, I've got various different leads that I bring with me. I've got my button tester, so if I can't hold the tester, I've got it around my neck and I'm trying to do some lighting, for example, it means I can just hold the probes up and do the job. Socket tester just obviously makes it easier when you're doing socket plugs, and the standard leads with your probes and crock clips. On top of that, the most important piece of kit you can have in your testing array is your lock off. Now you need this for safety, which is obvious. One of the first things you're always taught when you do test and inspect, you need to be able to turn the power off and keep it off. You don't want to be somewhere within the premises of where you're working, doing some electrical testing, someone's on site, realise, oh, there's no power, goes along, tries to turn it back on again. Possibly the worst thing that could happen to you, or worst, it could happen to somebody else that doesn't know, and you could end up killing them. These are a couple of recent things that I bought, the continuity testing leads. Now these things have come in invaluable. On one end, there's a crocodile clip that to the buzz bar. On the other end, there's a Phillips style connector, which more importantly is magnetic. So that will hold inside your MCB, RCD, RCBO without any issues, which means you can wander off, do the testing you need to do and come back. It makes a fantastic connection, and it means that your crock clip stays on the earth bar all the time, and all you do is just do that across each circuit. The RCBO here, for example, it just holds in. Okay. Always happens on camera, but you get the idea. I mean, if I very lightly, you can, I suppose you'd have to feel it, but that magnetic property there means that it's a lot easier and for it to stay in, rather than just trying to jam a crocodile clip in there, which sometimes you can't get all the way down into the hole and you get a bad continuity reading. So the actual tools that I take with me are very few. I take my tool belt with me, my pouch. This just clips on the side of my belt. If you've seen the previous video, you'll know all about this that I've done. And another reason why I love this thing is because the belt unclips and I can stand it up on a nearby table, bench, etc. So I don't have to keep it in my pocket, or if I want to, I could just keep it there all the time. Depends what I feel like, depends how comfortable I feel in the position that I'm in. Sometimes some consumer units are in such an awkward position you can't have anything on your belts because you just can't get in there. Screwdriver wise, I don't need them all. I take one handle, I take one PHPZ2, sorry, and I take one flathead blade. Generally, that's all you'll need. You will, however, need your torque driver, because when you invariably have to disconnect some circuits, if you're doing ring circuit testing, for example, you want to make sure that when you put the cables back in, that you torque them back up to the correct rating. And with that in mind, I take 2 pairs of pliers with me. I have my favourite Knipex one. The reason I take this one, because it's nice and long, I can reach into the back of those consumer units, and it's got a good pair of side cutters on there, or snips even, and it's got some stripping tools, because invariably you'll undo again, a ring circuit, and the previous person that put that in has over tightened the cables, crushed the copper, and you need to remake the end. Especially with 1mm cables, very, very easy to overdo it. My bent nose pliers, again, really fantastic for getting into difficult type situations. And both of these, again, not every consumer unit is a polished item. Sometimes you open up the cover and there's a hornet's or a rat's nest in there even. You can't make out what cable goes to which end. So you end up having to dig things, move things out of the way to try and trace the cabling. So that just shows how little amount of tools compared to what I have left in my tool bag. The only other thing I would say that I do take out with me, because obviously you've got the power off, there's no light. So a good head torch is always a good thing. And if I'm on a big site with lots of consumer units, lots of sockets, lots of lighting, etc., then sometimes I will bring the Bosch electric driver, because it saves your wrist, speeds things up. That again, I just take the handle and I just take a flathead and a Phillips blade out of the box with it. But obviously you've done a site visit before, you go out to do the testing, so you know what to expect. And with this tool bag, it's just so easy. Everything pretty much fits in here without a problem. So it will quite easily fit on your belt. You can carry it around. You're not having to lug this massive, great big tool bag around with you all day, especially with things like the lock-off kit. Once you've got to the consumer unit and you've done what you need to do, that invariably stays with the consumer unit, which again makes this so much lighter. And all of this stuff obviously goes in the bag with your tester. So the final piece of kit that I take with me, well, I used to take a clipboard, and I used to have sheets and sheets and sheets of paper that you'd have to fill in all the time. And then invariably you'd get back to your office and you have to rewrite it, or you have to input it into your computer to give a nice final copy for the customer. Some people don't do that. Some people just write it out there and then tear it off and hand it straight over. But I prefer to do it in a different way. So what I use is a tablet. Now this thing's fantastic. It does exactly what I needed to do, which isn't very much. It runs one program, which is my electrical certification software. It connects to the internet, so I can send it off to the client straight away if I need to. It does backups, and it's just simple. There's no pages to lose. Yes, you can drop it, and yes, the battery can go flat, but you just have to think ahead and make sure that it's charged up and take a spare charger with you if you need to. But with the case that I also bought with it, it's a shock resistant case, so these things do get bashed around a little bit, but it's also great because you can see it's got a little flap on the back which I can hold my hand in, so I can do work, do other things on the keypad if I like, and if I need to, I can just rotate it. And it's obviously got a shoulder strap to go with it too. And again, with the tool bag, tool pouch even, it's got a stand. Makes my life that so much easier. So what tools do you use? Is there anything here that you specifically think is, well, not useful to you? More importantly, what do you use that I don't? Because I'd love to find out. Can you make my life easier? Please leave your comments below. So anyway, until the next video, I hope you found this useful. I'll see you again shortly.